And what's going on, guys? Alex here. And right now, I'd like to discuss with you a little bit of topics about startups, business investing, work at the ICU, time management, and something more. But today, the difference is we have a guest.
Yes, it's me. Hello. You see my name in the title.
So, Max, today's topics are mostly about business, and I have chosen this because I know that you were planning on starting business somewhere in the future, not in the nearest one, obviously, because it's hard to exist as a student as it is. So, not talking about business, but uh, but business. I heard that you would like to start it, and when you have told me that, I have thought that that's a very dumb idea. But the further we have got, I have understood that that's pretty much a very good idea, to be honest. And that's why my question to you is: why would you decide that you would like to start the business?
I would like to start my explanation by explaining something to the listeners. Uh, the thing is that we pretty much were set on discussing this topic uh, with Alex personally for some time now. And I see that he decided to bring this topic up in a podcast. And I guess it's just because we've been trying to discuss this topic for months now, and I think he found a great solution to put us both on the spot and forced us both to discuss it. So, yeah, basically, I think it's not a secret for anyone that there's really three types of income you can get, maybe four. Uh, three types of incomes. I'm talking about sources of income. Obviously, it's a recruitment job. It's where you're getting recruited. It's where you're being paid to do a certain job, and you work for your employer. The second type is business. Yes, so you are the employer. And the third one is when you are working not as a company, not as an employer, but you're self employed. You just do whatever you do the best, basically. Fourth one is obviously you don't work at all. You just live off of a chance. No, not a chance always, but by grants, maybe by some scholarships. Like if you're a student, if you're not a student, then yeah, but sucks to be you if you don't have any source of income. But yeah, and obviously, um, we both are aspiring to become doctors, and this is great and all. But I think both of us at this stage in our lives don't really expect much of this job. Like, um, it's a hard earned profession for sure. Like more than 10 years, yes, like it's hard. But the thing is, after these 10 years, you just get an honorary duty to care for elderly and sickly, and mostly elderly and sickly at the same time. And it's not bad, obviously, but um, you want to see life, you want to try something new. At least in my case, you want to see what there else is to do. And obviously we can't get another education. Like it would be just, I mean, it's impossible basically to get a quality education while being a doctor. So we gotta choose, we gotta cut our losses, and maybe try to do something that is not as time consuming as getting another education to see the life from different sides. And in my opinion, business is a great thing because you're doing something maybe not as radically new as I don't know, working in medical field. because there are things you can do inside of medicine besides being a doctor. But um, but yeah, I think at least it takes a bit less time, a bit, not much, but I think it takes at least not, I don't know, 8 to 10 years yet to become a great professional in a certain field, to really get the grasp to feel and the feel for profession. So yeah, in my case, this is the case. Like, I just don't want to um, work.
9 to
Don't.
5?
Yes, obviously. What?
9 to 5?
Um, Obviously, it's not something we're expected to do as doctors and future doctors and being a doctors. Like, I don't know if any doctor or aspiring physician is working 9 to 5. I don't think it's a luxury we can afford. No, I was more of a speaking that I don't want to work low wage jobs before becoming a doctor. Yes, to see, to get the feel. Like, all I get the feel for is I don't know, making burgers at McDonald's or something like that. It's not a feel you want uh, to live through. And yes, so this is the reason I think we should at least try to start something, to try to set up a chain of supply for, I don't know, even a small shop. That's already a big step towards something more unique, towards new experiences, because it's for sure is different from flipping burgers in McDonald's, for sure. At least from what I've seen, from what I've read, from what I heard. And so at this stage, I would love to hear your opinion on this. Like, why do you want to quit your job and before becoming a physician, and maybe while being a physician, you want to do something on the side, try to develop a business? Why would you do that?
As you know, I have tried already myself in some type of business, such as freelance. Like it was year 2017, long ago before COVID, and I decided that that would be a pretty great idea to start some side hustle, such as freelance, like freelance translator and so on. And essentially, I pretty much loved it. I really enjoyed what I was doing. I enjoyed that I was responsible only for myself, that I needed to do only the thing that I find useful, and that's why I really loved it. But after, the thing was that I have tried myself in such type of business as YouTube. As you know, I have a YouTube channel, and not only one, but several. One of which is a channel with this.
All of them I watch and follow. I really enjoy them.
One of which is this channel with the podcast, video version of which you will see on YouTube, so feel free to follow me there. Anyway, the thing is that I have tried myself and I really enjoyed what I was doing, that I was not responsible to someone who was already in this type of business before me. I wasn't responsible for what I was doing, and so I wasn't responsible to someone, so no one controlled me. I was the only one person who was controlling myself, and I really enjoyed what I was doing, and the main idea was that I was enjoying what I was doing. The same also can be applied to, for example, the work at the ICU, where I'm working as a medical assistant. I enjoy what I'm doing there, in most cases, and that's why I continue to do that. And the same also goes to business. So I suppose that if I will still be competent enough to start a business, I will start a business because I hope that I will enjoy it. But anyway, the question is, do you find that we are skilled enough to start a business? Because there are like a bachelor and master's degrees for business, and still you want to try. Do you think it's possible for us to start a prospective business?
I have a question for you before I answer this one. What do you think is the most suitable education for people without a lot of money to do or start a business, like, or to run a business? What is the most suitable education in your opinion?
I suppose that the best type of education for this type of people will be any type of education, like marketing, languages. It doesn't matter, because if we're talking about business with like zero capital at the start, then
I mean, no business starts with zero capital. It's self-employed at this point. It's different. I think business requires you not just minimal investment, just to start this business legally, but I mean some actual investments in place or maybe equipment. So yeah, I think no, you can't start a business with zero investments.
okay, so
It's
then
I'm not yeah.
so then I suppose that the perfect will be some type of financial marketing education. Do you think that medical field is the best way?
I mean, I would love to. I would love for it to be true because I mean, we would have started a business long time ago if it were the case. Not because we are so eager to do it ourselves, but because we would see a lot of older classmates that already are doing business, and we would just join, and find the first-hand experience how they did it. But obviously not. Obviously, that's not the case. So from what's okay, I'm gonna be talking about Latvia. I mean, obviously, maybe it's relatable for any European country, but so here in Latvia, from my experience, you need at least three um, types of, let's say, three types of people to help you with your business, whether you pay them, whether they're the part of your team, whether, I don't know, whether they're just volunteering to help. You need at least three types of people. First one, it's the most obvious. It's economic help. Like, you cannot start any business without somebody who understands economics, who understands how to calculate with formulas your income, how to account taxes, how to pay the bills, like so you need that expertise in your team if you want to start a business. I mean, primary. Secondary, I don't think this one is as important as the first one, but still, you gotta need some advice, some legal advice, so lawyer or an advocate, I mean, just lawyer, sorry. Yeah, or just a lawyer, because you need someone to explain to you how to do anything inside of your country, inside of Latvia. And it's just that if you want to do anything, really, you gotta consult a lawyer first, like, because it's so easy to get um, lost with all of this, especially if you're not reading lots and lots of books regarding this topic. So, and I mean, any successful businessman for sure is not reading as much in the topic he's doing business, because he's doing everything. He doesn't have time to read about it. He has to do it. And the third type is somebody with a technical skill. Uh, it's that these people, you need people that will do a lot in your business, on a day-to-day business, on a day-to-day basis, like changing a light bulb. Even that's that still takes some time and expertise. I understand that maybe it sounds kind of stupid, but trust me, not everyone is confident to change a freaking light bulb. And God forbid your light bulbs are behind some, plastic material that covers the light bulb itself. And so you need a screwdriver to open that thing up. Then like 70% of people will fail and won't change the light bulb. So like, yeah, you need some technical expertise. And I understand that changing a light bulb doesn't take an engineer, but I think engineering, in general, if you are self-employed, or I mean, if you're doing your business on your own, is the best education to have, because you're going to do a lot of things inside of your business by yourself anyway. And so, why not have an education that is like linked to that? Because if you're going to set up electricity in your business, why should you call some people from site, call up some other companies when you can do it on your own? At least the simple stuff. I'm not talking about, wiring everything in your location. I'm talking about simple stuff. And like, it's gonna cost you a lot of money, like easily hundreds of euros. So why not save on that and do it on your own? Even changing a light bulb, like, yeah. And so, in my opinion, engineering is probably the best if we're talking about educated people doing anything. If you're doing some small time business, obviously, we're not talking about big tech companies. Then obviously you need a lot more than that. But in my opinion, engineering is the best because you understand how to do everything. You're really materialistic, and so you have a feel for everything. And yeah, this is mostly the reason why I view it. Do you agree with me?
In I would say that yes, because if we're talking about some small businesses, then of course we need lawyers, obviously, because we won't be able to start even the business without a lawyer. Then, of course, we have a real big need in someone who understands economics and how to improve the money that we have, and how to evolve our business into something, from something like a startup to something like more like business, or a company. Then, but of course, if we're talking about engineering, I would say that yes, we need such type of people, and that such type of people are mostly the most competent ones in the business, because they know how to do lots of stuff, and at the same time, these people know how to who to ask for help, because I know a couple of engineers, but these people are very competent, very very competent, if we're talking about them finding someone who would do some job for them. And they are incredibly competent, because essentially that's their job, to find someone who will do the job better than them. And that's why I can agree. But what about medical field?
Basically, you're describing medicine right now.
What about medical field? Do you suppose that that medical people are not competent enough?
Uh, as you've just said, uh, part of business is to look for people that will do the job better or some task better than you will do. And medicine is all about that. Like, oh, sorry, I don't know how to treat your tumor. I will send you off to some specialist. Like it's all about specialization and understanding where your field begins and starts. And so medicine in that aspect is pretty good. Obviously we can't speak about any technical skill you get from medicine, because all the technical skills are not even closely related to business. Like, yeah, I mean, in Latvia, you get some business skills on your first semester, or maybe second as well, in medical school. But let's not talk about that. And I think being in our position, I think it's totally possible. I know it's been done. Like I've heard and read about a couple of people. Their business models were kind of simplistic, but I mean, we're not looking for anything really tough, really challenging. Like we have enough challenges in our daily lives as of is. And yeah, um, what would you say about actually starting a business? Like, do you know anything about it? Like, have you read, or are you just going off of what's your guess, maybe? Like, you're just guessing how to do that. Have you read
Mm,
anything? Have you heard about it?
It's something in the middle, to be honest, because I have read something, and also I'm guessing a lot because I haven't read it enough in order to be competent in this sphere. Because otherwise, I will be already some type of consultant about starting a business. But the idea is that first of all, you need money. Obviously, you need money. You need an idea, and after that, you need to register yourself as a company, small company, self-employed, some type of freelancers, and so on. And as soon as you have registered yourself, then the thing that you need to do is to start actually the business, because formally you are already existing, so you need to exist practically. So you need some type of office, you need some type of website, you need some media presence, and so on and so on and so on. So the goods that you are actually selling, and essentially that's pretty much it. It's very so short list, because in reality this list is much longer and has much more points and much more like hidden commas. But the idea is that first of all you register yourself for the country, and after that you register yourself in the media field. Just register your media presence. So, but
What do you mean about media presence? What do you mean about that?
talking about media presence, I suppose that that's already obvious for lots of people right now, that business doesn't exist if people don't know about it. And we don't live right now in these times when the only way to add your business, to share your business, and to make your business prosper was clients telling other clients that your business actually works. Right now, the
Yeah.
thing is that every single business needs a media presence, and that if business doesn't exist in the media field, then actually it's more or less dead. So that's actually what I think about it. But the thing is that media presence is one of the most important things, and that's why we have such type of specialties as PR and so on and so on. But anyway, the question for you: if we are going to start a business, which one do you think will be the best to start with? Which type of business? So,
Yeah.
food shopping, own freelance
Yeah.
business?
Like I know. I don't know. I've never did it, obviously, but what I know and what I try to believe as being the ultimate truth is that logistics is the best business in terms of developing. Like it requires the least, yet grows the most, from what I've heard. And I feel like that's true because, like, even if you think about it, like all you need is a pair of legs to deliver a pair of flowers, like not a pair, but flowers to anyone. Like you just take the flowers and you deliver. You get paid. That's it. That's the easiest kind of business. Like it requires practically nothing. Like all you need is a company logo and maybe some history to your name. Not even really, because do you even care about who is delivering your um, I don't know, like your chocolate, let's say, or those same flowers. I don't think anyone really cares. So this is what I try to believe. Secondly, like talking about something else, obviously there are options, and I would say they're quite viable. Like uh, obviously opening some type of grocery shop, or maybe just any kind of shop. Um, but the thing is, obviously, being the millennial, being the growing mind that I am, I would love to do something, unique. Not just same old grocery shop and same old cafeteria, like something like that. Obviously, that's not something interesting. Yeah, you want to do something unique. You want to do a zero waste shop. You want to do um, the bookshop that sells some unique books. And to be honest, in the recent couple of months to years, I saw these kinds of shops really opening all around our city, which is good. That means there is clientele for this. Um, at the same time, that means the window of opportunity is closing down, because once the market um, is
Fulfilled?
not fulfilled, nourished, like
Okay.
fully, fully closed, fully saturated, you know, then you just, if you open any type of shop, maybe you get a couple of clients, but it's not enough, So yeah, once the market is saturated enough with the supply and demand, then yeah, there's no point in opening more supply. Like it won't do any good for you and your opponents. Yes. So this is my idea, logistics, and maybe some shop, because really it's those things that I think are really possible. Because trying to do some online business, it's weird. Mm, I think it's definitely possible, to start some online shop that sells some electronics, because but I've seen these kinds of ideas all over and over again, and they mostly fail. But I mean, at the same time, every type of business mostly fails. Like if you're trying to start a business, like 90% that it will fail, because this is the survival rate. You can't do anything about it. So you gotta be more creative. You gotta find the demand where there is no supply for it, obviously. And so any type of online shopping, any type of electronic shops, it's. I mean, it's so boring for people. Like people can buy any type of electronics with any kind of discount now. Like you don't need to be another one, and same goes for maybe this general this cafeteria type of fast food, where you're selling same old sushi, where you're selling same old fried food, like chicken wings and onion rings, and like it's same old stuff, at least in Latvia. Obviously in some other places it's not like that, but in my opinion. Um, do you have any ideas about that?
Absolutely, and my ideas about that mostly agree with you that if you're opening the business, the main idea for you is to make it creative. To make it work, in order to make it work, you need to make it creative and you need to make people know about your business and love your business as not as the sphere in which you are working. For example, like the same cafeteria. People, these people should not only love coffee, they should love especially your coffee. So, and you should make it creative. You should make like their presence in your coffee shop like very pleasant. You should make some type or some type of thing like you only your thing, and that's the only way that these businesses are gonna work. But I personally find that I have researched a little bit, and especially if we're talking about some type of fast food or coffee shops or like street food. In Europe, where we are located right now, it's a very, very unsaturated field because in Europe there are, if of course we're not talking about Ukraine, there are lots of street food, but all of the street food are mostly kebabs, are mostly sushi, and that's pretty much it. And all of them are just like any some type of sushi, some type of kebab, and there is nothing special about them. They don't offer something like, oh, okay, they may offer like Uber Eats or Bolt Food or Volt, and that's it. There is nothing special, and that's why in Europe there is a very big window of possibility to open something special only for example, for Latvia, because in Latvia we have some type of street food, of course, fast food as well, but street food especially. So that's why I find that there is also a window of opportunity still in Europe if we're talking about food, but the food is wholly another business because it will be a very, very big happiness for us if we are going to open something street food related, and if we are going to go to zero in 1 year or 2 years, because the because we should pay a lot. We are going to pay a lot for supply chain. We are going to pay a lot for anything, and that's why food is not an option for me personally as a first business. Like second, third, okay, but not the first one. So that's why also I suppose that logistics, of course, but also I suppose that the first business, in my personal opinion, should be something online related, because offline, okay, it's a very good idea, but it requires you to have lots of resources, and because we don't have enough experience, we need to do something more online, so we don't have to waste a lot of money into nowhere, and waiting nothing in return, because obviously our first business will be waiting nothing in return. Do you think otherwise?
I mean, to really, to create a platform online is as difficult as it is to open a platform offline. Like creating a shop that is visited by a couple of people is, in my opinion, as difficult as to make people actually visit your online website at least a couple of times a day. I think online is actually maybe more difficult because it's not physical. You actually have to spread not just information about yourself, not just maybe, putting some ads on YouTube videos about and telling, oh, yeah, we exist. No, you have to actually spread links to your website. In my opinion, that's actually maybe more difficult because spreading a link in 2020 is not an easy task because at least I know I never open links. I avoid opening links because I know just how dangerous it is. And I think many people just don't even take a look links these days. They just see if they recognize something, maybe they visit, but if they don't, they just skip it altogether. And with offline, you have a benefit of being a physical place, and bygoers have a chance of entering it. And if you actually are serving or doing something really unique, and it's pleasant to just be there. I mean, he will most likely will come back once in, I don't know, in half a year time, like. Um, or do you think that online presence is actually easier to build? Because I don't see that being the case.
I suppose that right now, if we're talking about opening business, the COVID has shown us that online presence is very, very important, and that the businesses existed, the businesses which mostly had some type of media presence and some type of online presence, who were offering their resources online, they still exist. Because businesses who were offline only, they stopped existing only because of the COVID, and who knows what will happen next. And online, as we know already, is something that exists independent of very, very lots of factors. Because offline business, of course, it works, but still, it has very, very much downsides, the same as the COVID has shown. But anyway, the question is, business in medical field. Do you see yourself in a medical field as a businessman?
My dream is to build a logistics company that specializes in delivering medical goods. And this is why in Euro Truck Simulator, I always specialize in medical stuff delivering. Like I invest in special crates. And yeah, I think this is my dream of actually doing that. Um, I don't know. I just like how it looks. Like it sounds and is so cool. Like you own a business that is logistical business that is delivering medical supplies, and these medical supplies are vaccines, are some special um, medical instruments. Like I don't know. I just love everything that is related to medicine, and this kind of business sounds like also it's kind of tidy. What I like about it, it's clean. Like it's not some your run of the mill logistics company that delivers a lot of, I don't know, bread even, or I mean, no, bread is kind of clean. Some, I don't know, like a construction supply, like where it looks dirty. Not because not because the supplier wants to for it to be dirty. It's just the nature of the supply. It's just dirty. Like it just makes a mess. And everything medical, it it should not do that. It's clean, it's tidy, it's neat looking, and this is what I like.
So, okay, I see that you want sterility even in business, but the question right now is for you, of course, and for me, and for me as well, because obviously I'm asking myself a lot here. We have been working at the hospital for more than 6 months already. Essentially, that was in the February. It was precisely 6 months as we are working as medical assistant and nurse assistant in the cardiac ICU. And I
Yes.
wanted to ask your experience from work. How do you see yourself there? Do you enjoy going there? Do you enjoy working, or it's just a work the same as McDonald's?
Have you explained what you do specifically in the ICU?
My personal job at ICU is mostly as a nurse. So I'm medical assistant, so I have a little bit less responsibility than a usual nurse, but still I do most of the job as a simple nurse does, and what does nurse assistant is actually helps the nurse and essentially does all of the cleaning stuff, all of the tidying, all of the dusts, all of the patient cleaning, and so on and so on. So
Have you ever explained what this place ICU even is? Like, what separates it from a normal uh, medical place? Even I don't know. Like, it's not a room. Certainly, it's big, and like this. What is ICU? If you can even explain it,
intensive
like
care
why?
unit, intensive.
Yes.
So I can explain as I see it. I see intensive care unit as some unit, so a ward and a hospital where you are working very intensively and where you are fighting for a patient's life and well-being. And for me personally, so ICU is a very good place because I love intensive job. I love either when I'm not working at all at work, either or I am working like a lot, so very intensive work. So that's how it works for
What
me, and that's why I really enjoy working at the ICU.
what kind of patients are there?
It depends on the day. It can be either some patients who were just picked up from the street, or some type of patients who were a minute ago at the cardiac operation room. It depends on the day. It depends on the ward. It depends on the nurses which are right now present. It depends on lots of factors.
But why this place is even necessary? Like, why can't these patients just go to a normal department? Why ICU?
Because the intensive care unit has more nurses per patient. That's the most important part of the ICU. That in intensive care unit you have at least one nurse per three patients, but in a usual ward you have something about like one nurse per 20, 10 patients, something like that. So essentially, the amount of attention which a nurse can provide to the patient care is much less at the usual ward as it is in the ICU.
Yes, but why do these patients need so much attention? Like, are they special? Is it a department for rich people? Why?
They are unstable. Their health is very unstable, so they require more attention. They require much harder treatment. They require much harder attention from the doctor's perspective, from the nurse's perspective, because their health depends on lots of medications, and that's why it's a requirement for their health. It doesn't depend on how much money do you have. At least in Latvia.
Are they being treated with just the stronger drugs, or maybe there's something else to it?
They pretty
Like,
much are treated with with anything that works. So it may be the same thing as noradrenaline, fentanyl, propofol, and such strong drugs, and also it can be something as simple as a usual fluid. So essentially, physiological fluid just pouring down intravenously. So that's the only not so difference, but it depends on the patient. It depends, and the only difference is between patients is how long some type of patients stay at the intensive care unit, because we have seen, of course, we have seen lots of patients who were either staying there for a very long period of time, or who were just staying there for overnight, and that was it for them. So that's it. Do you see the ICU some type of otherwise, or how it is for you?
no, I can't say I really differentiate from your description, like my description differentiates from yours. I would say that ICU indeed is a place with more care towards patients, and not because we don't care about others, but because these ones, if they're left on their own devices for a day, maybe even less, I don't think they can last because it's really critical. Or sometimes, not always, they're just presumed or they're assumed to have a higher chance of developing a really critical condition. Obviously, there are patients in ICU that are way healthier than your regular run-of-the-mill department, and I don't know, even endocrinology. Like, obviously, there are. It's just that these ones in ICU, they have been under surgical treatment, and so obviously they're expected to have some complications, like a couple of percents, uh, that they will develop some complication. Obviously, it doesn't mean that they will develop complications, but they might. And these in the endocrinology departments, they might have some diabetes, some STDs that are getting worsened by diabetes. And so basically, they're terminal because you can't cure diabetes, and you are not really going to cure some terminal stages of some STDs. Uh, yes, so obviously, yes, ICU is critical to have, in my opinion. It's really um, not that important.
What do you mean
I don't
by
know,
what do you mean by not that important?
because you know, like, it's obviously, it's not something that is critical to any medical facility. Like, you can do surgery without ICU easily. You can do like a lot of treatment without ICU. You can cure patients. Like, ICU is a privilege of big hospitals, because ICU is so expensive, because ICU is not providing as much care as the results uh, are expected. Like, no, they're not doing so much that the results are outstanding. Like, they just do whatever they can, but the results are not, not that noticeable. And in my opinion, ICU is really a privilege, and obviously, clinics can run without them. And really, ICUs only develop once we're talking about improvements in, like, really, really critical patients, like those that are really hard to treat. And really, when we're talking about improving our surgical numbers, that's survival rate, and other stuff. So, in my opinion, ICU is a great necessary place, but only for big clinics, obviously, because they're so damn expensive and providing not as much um, outcome as you would have loved for these kinds of money. And as you've said, yes, instead of having a one nurse per 20 patients, maybe you're having one nurse per 3 patients, and plus you have to pay that nurse more money. So, like, yes, your um, expenditure is going through the roof with this. So, yeah, in my opinion, ICU is great, but it's really privileged. And so this is the reason why most of the people won't really understand what that is, what it does. And um, by starting to work there, I really found out a lot, like basically all of what I've said, that um, that I didn't know before starting this job. In my opinion, beforehand, ICU was some place where magic happens. No, like, oh my God, he's very sick. We will do a lot of treatment to make him alive again. Like, no, like, all of the magic happens in the surgery ward, and ICU just observes, basically. And when something is needed, they call for a specialist that comes, sees the patient, does whatever he needs that he could have done anywhere else, and leaves. Like, it's not it's certainly not a magic place, and certainly a lot of medical centers can get by without it, from what I see now. But yeah, before, my perspective was different, and maybe I'm just so uneducated, and you will actually tell me that this is not how you perceived ICU beforehand, and this is not how you perceive ICU now. So I would love to hear if I'm mistaken, or maybe I have some truth on my side.
One more question for you. Do you find, quick question, do you find that working at the ICU as a first job in the medical field is a right place to go, or it's just an overkill?
When I see these poor souls that come to ICU working first time in their lives, being 20, 19 years old, I don't know. I feel so soul crushed because this is not how the real world is, other job, how the other jobs are. To most of them, I say leave. If you're doing this for experience, leave now, like right now. And thanks God, some of them actually listen because uh, I had a boy who was first year a medical student. His first semester, he started a job there, and he was like, "Oh, nice new experience." And I'm asking him like, "Did you work 24 hours?" He said, "No, not yet." I asked, "Did he have a shift for 24 hours like planned?" He said that yes, in a week or something like that. We started talking about, is it necessary to work in ICU? How much practice do you get? How much experience, real world medicine experience you get? I told him that no, please leave. If you are doing this for some experience, yeah. If you don't need money, run, run from here, and maybe come back when it's third or fourth year, because before that, it's no, don't. It's just it's really not what you should experience in medical field, or in any job, working, doing anything. It's not what you should experience, for sure, for sure. This is my
So,
answer.
after all of you, what you said, do you see yourself for one more year in the ICU?
For sure, not as a nurse assistant, because first of all, I'm really sick and tired of doing what I'm doing. Um, because my duties are to care for patients, obviously, um, but beyond that, to overlook some um, basic day-to-day necessities, to bring some gloves, to watch for the aprons. Yeah, we use aprons in the ICU. To watch for the aprons so they wouldn't run out. Aprons are single-time use, and like stuff like this. Plus, for the cleanliness of the ICU, and trust me, if you ever cleaned in your life, no. Like you never cleaned if you never cleaned in ICU, because you just have to go around every corner. You can't have any um, debris, dust, obviously, but it's such places that you wouldn't even think to look for. Like, for example, behind the, like, um, how do you call it? This red thing that you use, fire extinguishers. Yes, behind fire extinguishers. And I mean, even if there is no dust, you still have to clean it, just for the freak of it. And basically, the only thing that is not constantly being cleaned in the ICU is walls, which is actually weird because if we are so dead focused on eradicating every bit of dust and bacteria in the ICU. Why are we not cleaning walls? But I don't know. Maybe maybe it's not necessary. But yeah, we just clean everything, every object. Plus, the hardest thing about this work is to be subservient to 5 nurses, to doctors at the same time. And I literally mean that, because one nurse may ask you to bring something, one thing um, from the table, and then at the same time the other nurse will ask you to go with her to the surgery ward, and then the doctor will tell you, why is this patient I don't know, is lying at the 20-degree angle, not 30-degree angle, and you have to regulate that. And that's all of these things are not complicated as they are, but the thing is, you're doing some your day-to-day duties, and you have to do all of that at the same time, because patients are critically ill and nobody's waiting. Like, just run. And yeah, you can't run. Yes, in ICU you can't run, you can't raise your voice, and not because people are resting, it's just that it's not really accepted. Yes, you have to be really silent, and everyone, at least everyone is. I don't know, maybe it's not a rule, but everyone is really silent in the ICU, where everything, like the machines are screaming constantly, and everyone's silent, so you can't hear anyone. You have to, and these masks also, they are getting in the way, so you can't hear anyone. You have to ask for them to repeat themselves, and it's just constantly, I don't know, it's just stressing environment. And the job of nurse assistant is really, really freaking tiring. It's not hard, it's just tiring. And the problem is that if it was for 8 hours, it would be easy, truly easy. Like, your nervous system can adapt to that. 12 hours, maybe. 24 hours, no. No nervous system can adapt to working, just working 24 hours, not sleeping, maybe sleeping 3-4 hours, but it's maybe, big maybe. Most of the time, it's 2 hours. And above and beyond, everyone is constantly asking something of you. I never once, working for almost like 7-8 months, never once had a 20-minute window. Nobody was looking for me or asked me to do something. Like, constantly somebody wants you to do something. So yeah, it's tiring. It's tiring. um, and so I have a question. Is it the same for you? Because from what I see, nurses are, and not nurse assistants, but medical assistants. They are not being constantly bombarded by other nurses, at least. Maybe you're getting tired by something else, or maybe it's a lot easier for you.
It mostly depends on the day and depends on the patients and depends on the doctors, because for you the main pain in the ass is a nearby nurse, but for us, for nurses and for medical assistants, the main pain in the ass are doctors who decide.
I'm sorry, not nearby nurse. All the nurses, they will
Yeah,
come and seek for you. Just if they don't have you, like, they can take something themselves, they will specially walk further to ask for you to do something. Like, no, not nearby. All of them, constantly, at any time.
okay, so all of the nurses, but the thing is that it depends on the patients, because for you, if the patient is unconscious and isn't doing anything, so and you don't need to rotate them all of the time, so it's an ideal patient. But for nurses, it may be not an ideal patient, because the care, yeah, it may be really intensive. So you may find yourself like doing like filling up the syringes every single hour, and not only one syringe but lots of them. You have lots of things to do, and also if you decide that right now you have something like 10 minutes to sit down, and you decide that it's a very good idea to take out a phone, No, it's not a good idea if only if it's not at night, because if you're sitting, you better be writing some papers, because bureaucracy in ICU is still very big. But the thing is that it it's how it works. So you need to find yourself a job, and 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 that's a problem because sometimes you have done almost anything, but that almost you always keep thinking about that almost because you don't know whether you have done every single thing that can be done. So that's the problem. But it's much easier than being a nurse assistant, because I have worked as a nurse assistant before when I was in my second year of medical school. And that was really tiring because, of course, it was another ward, it was another hospital, but it still was very tiring because I was having like two nurses, and they were trying to divide me, and I was having duties on both sides. So with both nurses, so I can only imagine how hard it is if you're working as only one nurse assistant per five nurses, or even if you are two nurse assistants, because it may be really tiring, but it's easier to work as a medical assistant. So, question for you: whether you will stay if you will be offered a position of a medical assistant?
Yeah. So I don't know. This prospect, like if we're talking objectively, is really cloudy right now because in medicine, it's so weird in Latvia. Like you have a shortage of stuff everywhere. You have so much more to do in medicine. Like you constantly need new colleagues. You constantly need new workers if you are an employer in medical field. But at the same time, it at times it feels so saturated, but it's not. But for some reason, I mean, it's money. Okay, I'm trying to find the reason, but no, it's money. Like it's so expensive to have anyone in medical field, and so to have an extra pair of hands, you have to pay a lot of money. And obviously, there are budgets, there are restrictions, and even though from what I've seen, even nurses have shortages from time to time, even now, and especially now because of COVID. It's still we have a lot of medical assistants that are really. We have a lot of medical assistants that are not yet accepted, but they will be, and there's a queue, and it's long from what I see. Like it's a couple of people, and I don't know. And the first time our head nurse said she will promote anyone will be around June, and it's not even 100% that I can be promoted at that time because there are still a couple of people that are waiting for their times for not longer. It's just that they're in the higher courses, like their fourth years, fifth years, and so yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I hope that this will happen, and yes, then I will stay for at least another half a year because I want some experience before moving on. But this perspective is not really clear right now, and from what I've heard, some laboratories are paying like upwards of 14, 13 euros to not an hour, obviously, to not experienced medical assistants. By non experienced, I mean they did not even finish clinical care basics. And those who are in Latvia understand how stupid these people still are. They don't know anything at all yet. And yes, from what I've heard, this exists. And I think I should be looking in that aspect as well. But it's wishful thinking at this point. But yes, I would stay because I would love to experience that. Obviously, I would love to try to do something actually important in medical field after 3 years of studying it. Yeah, I would love to do something actually, but I mean, life is hard. Life is life has a lot of surprises for sure.
So another question which has arisen for me personally is it possible to combine full-time studies and full-time work? Because right now we both are studying full-time, but we are working only part-time. So only half-time work, and the question was whether is it possible because right now, as far as I know, we have lots of financial problems. Every single one of us because of the latest situation. So, working full time is it possible from a mental part? Is it possible from physical parts? So physically, is it possible to work full time and after that study full time? For you personally,
Um, you know what? Um, I think that we try to pity ourselves way too much, and if we didn't sleep for, I don't know, 7 8 hours, and I'm speaking generally, obviously, maybe some people are not sleeping 7 to 8 hours and pity themselves, but I certainly do, and I'm most certain you also do. And we pity ourselves in that aspect that, oh no, we slept only 7 to 8 hours, not 9 or 10. And we pity ourselves in that aspect that, oh my god, I studied for 4 hours so much. I have a right to, I don't know, go to party for another 5 hours because I've studied so much. And we pity ourselves that, oh my god, I worked today, so it must be that I should have a rest day today because I worked yesterday all day. I think we pity ourselves too much in that aspect that human body can take way more than we actually give it credit for. And if we actually tried to push our bodies, like if we, I don't know, worked one day, the next day we went into the gym, worked out, went to studies, to the university, sit through 6 hours of lectures, and then we went, prepared some food, reread our notes, went to sleep, had only like, I don't know, 6 7 hours of sleep, and did everything besides work again. I think our bodies would actually cooperate and do well. I think long term, on like after a couple of weeks, we would experience some crash syndrome uh, effects, like symptoms, because of the cortisol and adrenaline building up in the system, like bit by bit. But at the same time, you can release all of that if you actually do mindful things. And so, in my opinion, I think it's possible. I think it's possible. It's just that whether you love yourself, if you love yourself, you won't ever do that. Like you can't work full time, you can't study full time at the same time, and go to gym, go to the sports practice. Yeah, if you love yourself, no, you can't. If you hate yourself, if you actually force yourself to suffer, or you have great parents that force you to suffer, and then yeah, then it's possible and it's easy, even because when you're doing something daily, it gets easy. It's just that how our mind perceives everything. Yeah, we don't say that drinking water is hard, but at the same time, it's the same as going to the work. Like it's still mechanical work. It's still like it gets easier. And this is my opinion right now. I think I love myself way too much because of the COVID, and I think that I couldn't do that even if I wanted to. But if I hated myself, easy, easy, in my opinion. Uh, did you experience this the same way I did while studying, while working, or do you think that, or do you think differently? Maybe.
I see it in a little bit other way because I suppose that that's only the question of time management. Because right now I can see that I'm doing not enough for studies, not enough for work, even my hobbies. I'm not spending enough time for me to succeed there. Of course, I see that I'm doing some impact. I see the improvement, but still I'm not doing nearly as much as I could possibly do, not humanly possibly do, but not as much as I could do as a normal person. And that's why that's for me personally that's only the question of time management. And I find that I suppose that that would be more than possible for me personally to work like full time and to study full time. The only question is on how I'm going to plan that and whether I will be organized. And as far as I know, I won't be. And that's the only problem for me personally, that I won't be organized enough, and that's why my time management will suffer. Uh, Talking, by the way, about time management, is it a problem for you? Or is it something like very, very obvious thing that exists and which you have implemented into your life for a very long time ago?
If I mean, time management certainly is a great practice to practice daily, to actually build a ritual upon. And I did manage as much as I could before COVID. And after COVID, since everything is online, since a lot of days, maybe like 6 out of 7 of the weekdays, I can stay at home. Um, I don't really see the point, and that's a problem for me personally. I know that um, I should just work with COVID and understand that it's how it is. And so, but I don't know. When I see your videos, I get an inspiration to continue time managing. But at the same time, I cannot break that COVID barrier. Like this COVID, it's still in my mind. It's still mind-boggling that that's we cannot come back and do everything like it used to be. Like I don't know, like before, going to a cafe to study, to work, to do anything, to going to a library to study, to work, it was easy. Like you just took your purse and you went to Costa and sat there, bought some coffee, and that's it. Life is happy, life is dandy. You can just do whatever you want because you're motivated, you're sitting somewhere outside of your house, and everything is cool. The same went for library. You just went to library, you didn't have to use a mask, you could just walk around, you could easily get to there without thinking about masks and stuff. But now, because of this mask problem, because of everything is restricted, you have to show your ID. It's just, it adds these barriers. They're so small, they're so tiny, but your mind cannot get over them. My mind can't over them. And yes, so time management for me is a lot, and I suffer from not being able actually to implement it, to do it. And I think it's because of COVID, because before that it was easy and enjoyable, but now it's hard. And this is the point I would love to ask you. How do you do your beautifully looking, your organized plans, your systems? How did you do that? And what motivates you, which is most important for me, to do them? Like, I would love to implement some of them into my regime. So, how do you do them?
So it depends, of course, on what I'm doing and on what type of beautifully organized schedule you are talking about. But the question here is whether you are really interested in that, because I find the enjoyment in the process. Because if I'm doing something, I would like to enjoy what I'm doing, whether it's planning or that's something as like studying, working. I would like to enjoy that, because otherwise that would be very painful for me mentally, and I prefer not to do that. And so that's why that's essentially how I do that. I try to find some enjoyment in what I'm doing, and for me personally, it's much easier to enjoy what I do if I am planning ahead. And planning ahead has already shown for me personally that if I'm planning ahead, I show better results. If I'm planning ahead, I enjoy the process much more because I know what's already planned, and that's essentially how it's done. It doesn't depend whether you use my strategy or someone else's strategy. The only question is whether you feel comfortable with your schedule, or if you are ready to invest some time into you enjoying the process afterwards. That's essentially how it is for me, because I have gone through the way of trial and error, and that's what's worked. Do you think some otherwise? Or does it sound like legit for you, or if it sounds like something from the other world?
Obviously, it's a great advice. Like, you have to do what you enjoy. Yes. Mm, I don't know. Maybe I was speaking more about finding and understanding what is there to look forward to when you're doing, like, why do you enjoy it? Like, you're telling me that you just do that because you enjoy it, but how did you found out that you enjoy it? Like, you have to go through really scrutinizing and really thinking a lot, and like it's hard to think about something new. Like, you and how did you get over that to find out you actually like it? Because I don't know, I don't think that you like anything after a couple of hours of use. Like, it gets boring. um, and if it does not get boring, then yes, sure, you can uh, continue doing that. But I think that everything at some point gets boring and you just forget about it. And how did you, why? What did motivate you to keep on going, to keep on trying to plan ahead, to keep on trying to make a system that looks organized and is organized? Like, to track all of this that you're tracking, your wish list, your the habit tracker, you're going to the gym, to the university and stuff. Well, like, what motivated you?
I have noticed such interesting thing that I suppose you have noticed that as well. That if you're playing something like RPGs on your computer, or some MMOs RPGs as well, it's much easier there to do the thing that you feel like it needs to be done. So if you understand that you need to find somewhere like these 100 of gold coins, you will find these 100 of gold coins, and you will be fully concentrated on that mission. And the same, I suppose that can be. I suppose that it can be also applied into the real life, and that's why I'm making these to-do lists. I'm making these schedules because I first of all I enjoy doing that, and the second thing I enjoy that something is already done because obviously I try to understand this as some type of RPG, and because of that, it makes all of this process much easier because you are trying to do something, and if you consider it not as something mandatory but as something voluntarily, it becomes obviously at once much easier, and that's how it works.
You know, what my most disliked thing about RPGs is
What is?
it's grinding. You know what is grinding? What
Yeah,
grinding is?
yeah.
For those who don't know, grinding is basically when you're forced to do certain task or find certain objects over and over again for hundreds. Some RPGs go even beyond that and thousands of times. Like literally, like you have to kill certain monster for thousands of times. So you have to go to a certain dungeon thousands of times before you can get some upgrade. And this is my most disliked thing about RPGs because okay, I understand doing some dungeon for 10, 20, 30 times. Like it's understandable. Yes, the development stuff spends some time on that, and if you rush through it for in like 20, 30 minutes and they've spent like weeks, months to develop that, it's yeah, I understand. You want for people to actually reuse some content you did, but I think it's so lazy that they are forcing you to, and this is my most disliked thing, to do certain dungeons for legit, even sometimes more than thousands of times to get like not even a full upgrade, just a part of an upgrade. Because you just get some leggings or some breastplate or some helmet. Yes, just a part of the set of clothing, and you have to do it another thousand of times to get another part of it, and then another, and then another, and there's still after you get all of that, you just level up. Let's say that, and you can now you can now do another dungeon for another thousand of times to get another just one piece of I don't know 10 part set of clothing to become even stronger and do it again. And I don't like it. I never liked it because you do it 10 times, it's already like, okay, I feel proficient, I feel like I'm professional. When you do it hundreds of times, oh my god, it's so butt hurting. So yeah, and doing lists like that, like doing like my daily tracker, habit tracker, every day or even every week feels like that to me sometimes. Like you just do the same thing over and over again to get the same result, to maybe improve like a couple of percent, maybe to be allowed to have more time, like a minute 2 or 3 more in a day, let's say, and to actually just do more planning. Like, is this how it is for you? Because for me it certainly feels like that. I just have to put in the same uh, numbers, put in the same words over and over again to get the same result, to maybe improve, maybe not.
I personally find that very comforting, very comforting, because I'm doing something. I know what I was doing before, but I know what's need to be done, and because of that, I can do it a little bit better. I can improve myself into doing this thing. I can do it faster. I can do it. I can perform better. I can perform better. I can show better results, and that's how it is for me. Because of course, going to the gym every single day That's that's the same log into your to-do list. But the thing is that you can show great results every single time, and you can even track that, and that's actually the thing why I'm keeping the habit tracker, because I can track my results, and because I can track how far I have proceeded into doing something. For example, right now I can already tell that it's hard for me to read every single day something not school related, and that's how it is. But going to the gym is much easier, and that's how it is. So I know which type of my life, which part of my life I can improve more, and so by improving that, I can improve quality of my life. So that's how it works. And so you try to change something. You don't try to. I will now say the word from the Far Cry 3. So you are not trying to do the same thing again and again, hoping for another result. And so in order to hope for another result, you need to do another thing. And so that's why I try to improve myself into every single sphere where I'm working, because otherwise that would be pretty much useless. That's it. That's the key of my time management of the schedule and to-do lists. Nothing so special.
So you're saying that I should come with a different approach of understanding that I'm doing this not to get better to do something else. No, I'm literally like I should plan only those things that I want to improve at,
Pretty
not
much
to be hoping.
Yeah.
And so this is why you track not just your results, but your expected times to go to the gym, because you don't really want to get better at gym necessarily. Like it's a different folder. Like no, you're tracking when you're going to the gym just to get better at going to the gym.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. That's how it is, because I have some goal, and by having some goal, so I need to complete that, and so I need to keep track on how well I'm succeeding in that, because that's the problem, that you can write into your to-do list to become #1 medical student in Latvia, but if you don't know how to get there, it's pretty much useless. So you can write like become the Prime Minister of United Kingdom, but you still live in Latvia. Like if you don't see the path, it's useless. So that's why I'm writing, and I'm keeping track on how well I'm succeeding into going, for example, to the gym. And that's why also how it is, how I am showing a little bit better results with studying, because I keep myself, first of all, motivated, of course, because sometimes when I don't feel motivated at all, I launch a Twitch stream, so that I really have to study during this time, and also I keep track on how well how well I'm studying, which type of results I'm showing, whether these results are improving, whether I am happy with what I see with this using this tracking. And this system actually works. You only choose which part of your life you'd like to improve. Nothing so magical here. At least that's how I see it.
Yeah, I don't know. Either it's a dialogue with you or something else clicked in my mind. But yeah, now I feel like I can do that. Yeah, I feel motivated.
I am a little bit of a motivational speaker myself. Yeah.
I see that you have a planned another topic, talking about investing.
Yeah, last topic for today, that's investing, and the question for you: are you investing right now somehow in a classical way?
I invest in future. I invest in myself. This is what everyone should be able to tell right off the get-go, because if you're not investing in yourself, then what are you even doing with your life? But no, I'm not investing in anything really. And
Why not?
yeah, now I'm forced to explain myself. Why am I not doing that? Oh my god, no, because once again, everyone does that, but we don't have the finances as students to do that yet. And this is why this topic is interesting, because
So,
we
so you're telling that the only difference between you and people who's investing are that they're having more money. Is it?
obviously, like yes, yes, you can always invest with even a couple of euros, but then again, it's just basically you are moving a couple of euros from your bank account to another bank account. Like this is basically then what you're doing if you're investing with a couple of euros, because the sum of your investment is going to change by 1%, and maybe, and like 1% from 2 euros is 2 cents. So it's not, I think transaction worth more, so you spend more money than your but yeah, obviously you can invest with any money, but yeah, if you don't have at least like a big enough sum to make any impact on your life, then there's no point. And once again, if we're not talking about competitive investing, like when you're trying to play on the market, like which is like it used to be really cool and hip to invest. I don't know what about now. I don't hear about it as often as I used to. But a couple of years ago, it used to be really cool to invest. I don't know about now. But yeah, if you don't play on the market, then there's other types of investment. It's waiting for dividends from your investments, and basically this type of investing is only for rich people. It's only for those who have a lot of money, who can invest it in some company and expect for this company to get richer and pay some dividends back to the investor. And obviously we don't have enough money to make any impact even on the small business, but maybe theoretically we will have enough money to play on the market.
Why,
And
why wouldn't you like to try something like that just for the experience? Like, not for the money itself, but for the experience of playing on the market, on investing somewhere. Like the feeling that these 20 euros which are on your investing bank account, they're like working for you, and you're like doing something like simply for the experience, not for the result itself.
mm, you see, as with anything in life, if you're not approaching it to actually get some critical, and I mean objective, that word, some objective results, if you're not approaching it or with the said intention, then you're not going to learn anything. Like it's a trash experience basically. For example, if you're going to spa, even and you are just enjoying spa, you're not going to learn how to do a massage. But if you're going to the spa to see how it is functioning, what is going on there, who is doing what, and how the masseuse is actually approaching your massage, then yes, you're going to learn a couple of things. Obviously, not close enough to understanding how to do a massage, how to run a spa, but at least you will have some experience in that, and it's not a trash experience. Yeah, you will ask more questions, you will pay more attention and stuff. And the same goes for this investing. I see and I saw a lot of people of my age that were investing, and like if like they upload, they try to invest with hundreds, 200 euros, they do get some euros back. They do get some profits, but at the same time they just lose it, and that's it. And that's it. Like it's literally, if you have fun at doing that, sure. Yes, it's the same with the casino. If you're not coming for the win, and you just enjoy gambling, like, and you're ready to spend these 100, 200 euros, sure, do it. But if you're coming expecting to win and maybe get a car because you won a blackjack in blackjack, then no, don't do that ever, because the odds are not in your favor. Like, yeah. And the same goes for the market. If you're not approaching it with like, if you're not approaching it with the idea that I will spend 20 euros but I will get the experience, and then with my new knowledge that I've acquired, and some books and maybe courses that I did, I will apply that to forming a more successful strategy and stuff. Then yes, sure, that's great if you do that. But if you don't, then don't do that, because it's useless. It's not experience. It's trash experience. It's the same as we're going to the medical school. If you're not approaching it with learning certain skills, and if you're just sitting and waiting for the skills to appear in your head, no, they will never appear. Then don't start it. Like, you need to want to do that. And this is why I'm not investing it, because yes, I will get the experience, but will I understand what I did? No. And yeah, so this is why I tried first and foremost to read about it. But I understood that the sphere is really broad, and I need some help. But to hire some help, you need money, and to do that, you need to have some spare money to first hire some help, then to invest some money, actually. And so I'm waiting. I'm waiting for my financial status to improve, to get some spare cash, and then I should approach it with more thought. But I don't know. I would love for you to argue with me on this topic, like, especially because I saw you inviting me to Revolut.
Oh yeah, I'm just inviting because they're like giving 40 euros for inviting other person. But the thing here is that I can only agree because I have tried investing myself. Of course, it was something like 10 $15 or something like that. It was for a very long time ago. I have texted you about that I have a couple of Apple stocks, couple 0.13 or 0.013 Apple stocks on my account. I have
Wait,
found that
how did
recently.
you acquire Apple stocks? They're not trading as CFDs, from what I understand. Like, they're not contract for difference. They're only like real stocks. How did you acquire them?
I don't remember. Honestly,
Okay,
it was so very long ago that I just opened
okay.
my Revolut account because they have written that my credit card is expiring very soon, and I have seen that I have something like 0.013 like stocks, and I was like, okay, I was trying to invest. I don't remember even the price which I have paid for that.
Okay.
So
It's just that, yeah, Apple stocks, from what I've heard, from what I've seen, they are not traded as CFDs, only as the real thing. Like, and the same goes for Alphabet, for Tesla and stuff. Like, I would love to play with these because they're predefined. They always grow. They cannot go lower. But yeah, if you don't have cash, you cannot play on them.
I don't know.
But okay, maybe I'm mistaken. Probably I'm mistaken. So yeah.
Maybe I'm mistaken with that it stocks, but the whole idea is that I tried investing and I understood that I understand nothing. So that's the main idea that I suppose that we both need to start investing, but before that we need to understand what the hell's going on and how the stock market actually works and what's the difference between all of it, because otherwise that would be a simple waste of money.
Yes, and this is, I think, actually we should start with maybe asking our colleagues on economic side, because they should know the investment courses, at least in Europe, at least online, maybe on Coursera. I think we should actually try to motivate each other on this thing. I think just by watching a couple of video courses, it should be way better than doing nothing, right?
Yeah.
I know that there exists Coursera, and yeah, you talk.
Yeah. I'm not talking. Okay. So, but I suppose that yes, we should find something, even if that will be some type of free YouTube course, as the one as I have found on the Python language, and I was quite interested in that, and it already.
Yes, I found.
Yep.
No, it's not that. I'm looking. Like, I know there is official website that is similar maybe to Coursera. It's just that it's more dedicated to actually doing something productive. Coursera is also, I think, in part an entertainment website. Oh my god, I've saved it. Where is it? I gotta find it.
Anyway, we'll find it after the recording, but the whole idea that we should start doing something, because as I have understood, we both are interested both in business and in investing into stock market or something like that. So
yeah,
and on this positive note, I would like to end this episode. Thank you for being here with me, and see you.
Thank you. Bye bye.